Good evening, everyone. Michelle Riley here, founder of Notaries for Alabama, coming to you from Madison County, Alabama. I'm really excited this evening because I got some interesting news. Today, I'm going to shut off my phone, not my ringer. The news is there is pending legislation affecting notaries. But before I get into that, not all of you know about Notaries for Alabama. Notaries for Alabama helps Alabama residents become Alabama notaries. And we do that by streamlining the application process for getting your commission, providing notary surety bonds and errors and omission insurance, offering some of the best training in the state, discounted supplies, notary supplies. And I think the best thing is providing a mentoring support group on Facebook for our members. So if you are a commissioned Alabama notary or planning to become one, please connect with our group. And you can do that by joining our free Facebook book group called Notaries for Alabama Hangout, or you can just reach out to us by email or by phone, and the information will be posted below. So that's the introduction. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel, like our video, and feel free to share it so that other notaries can benefit from it. All right, we got that out of the way. Here to talk about the notary bills. So today I was informed by one of our awesome members, Sheila M. Finger, about Senate Bill 275. So my purpose today is to cover the highlights with you of this bill so that you can know what to expect in the event it gets passed. So again, it's still a bill. It's only a bill. And if you grew up on PBS, you know what I mean by that. All right, let's go through it. Let's highlight the biggest, most important features. I'll talk about questions, concerns that I have, let you know what I did today in response to the bill, and then suggest some next steps for you. Are you ready? Let's get going. So this bill is only 4 pages long. There's not a lot to it. Again, SB, Senate Bill 275. It is authored by Senator Givhan, Givhan. It talks about remote notarizations. Now, don't freak out yet, because I don't think this is the remote online notarization that we've been hearing about as notaries. Those of you who may not know, nearly half of the states in the US have adopted remote online notarization, where there is no paper involved, no ink involved, everything is done through the computer, okay? This is a little different, I believe, because primarily it continues to reference the Emergency Management Act of 1955. And so I believe this is a bill which may become law that would only kick in or be effective during states of emergency, whether it is COVID, whether it is tornado, whether it's freezing ice and snow and sleet, something that um, thousands of us experienced about a week ago. So whenever this would apply, whenever state and local authorities issue a type of state of emergency that would make it dangerous, unsafe, very inconvenient for Alabama residents to meet face to face with notaries. You got that? And so that's why I think the impact of 275 may not be as impactful or serious, long-standing as I originally thought. All right, let's get into the bill. First thing on page 1, it says, this would authorize notaries to use remote notarization for acknowledgements. Those of you who have gone through training, similar to Notary Basics training for Alabama notaries, you know that there are 4 most commonly used notarial acts in the state: acknowledgements, jurats, oaths and affirmations, and copy certifications. This bill only mentions acknowledgements, and I don't know if that is accidental or deliberate. So that's something that jumped out. Over on page 2, it states that a signature signed directly onto a document in wet ink by a person who is named on the document. So it is stating, and this bill would require an original signature by the signer. And going forward, we're going to refer to the signer as the signatory because that's how it's mentioned in the bill. So the signatory cannot sign electronically. He or she is going to need a pen. So that means there's going to be paper involved, paper and ink. The bill goes on to say that the notary is also required to use ink when notarizing the signature. So I'm going to pause here. This is why it is not, I believe, it is not the traditional, well-known, well-publicized remote online notarization, because paper and ink will be involved. It also states, Senate Bill 275, that the notarization must take place through the use of two-way audiovisual communication technology that allows the notary and the remotely located signatory to communicate with each other simultaneously by sight and sound. Now, that's not too unusual because due to COVID, back in April 2020, Governor Ivey issued a proclamation number 5, I believe, allowing Alabama notaries to perform notarization through video conference. All right. And so this has that same flavor. This bill stresses that the notary be physically located in Alabama. It also says the notary will store the recording of the remote notarization and keep it available for at least 7 years. So what stood out to me on this is, one, there's no mention of where the signatory must be located. I want to assume Alabama, but we know about assuming, right? The 7 years, I want to say, is 2 years longer than what video conference notarizations need to be stored. I started conducting video conference notarizations, I want to say, a few weeks after Governor Ivey allowed it. And so I have to keep those recordings available when requested and produce it. There's not a lot of information about how to do that, preferred software, none of that. We notaries it's up to us to figure that out. All right, couple more things. This surprised me. It goes into detail about the methods of identifying the signatory. Just haven't seen this much detail, not even in the current notary handbook. It says that the remote notarization, the notary can use personal knowledge, and we know about that for traditional notarizations, but check this out. They want the notary, they want the signatory to show the notary not one, but 2 forms of government issue ID, one of which shall include the face and the signature of the signatory. But check this out. Another option, yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. This one is unusual. A process by which the notary verifies the identity of the signatory through a review of public or private data sources. I'm serious. Okay, it says for ID. If appearing through the use of two-way audiovisual communication, the identity of the signatory shall be verified by the notary using either of the following methods. 1, personal knowledge. 2A, 2 valid forms of government issue ID, yada, yada. 2B, a process by which the notary public verifies the identity of the signatory through a review of public or private data sources. All right. Yeah. I'm like, help me, somebody. All right. Then it goes into more detail about kind of like a script, information that the notary must gather during the notarization. You're going to read it. I'll tell you how to get your copy. But really, if I read all that, I think I put you to sleep. All right. And then I think just 2 more things. Yeah, I was disappointed to see this. Remote notarization may not be used to notarize an absentee ballot application or an absentee ballot affidavit or for any purpose related to voting. I say that because for the last big election in November, I received requests to notarize signatures on ballots. And they weren't excluded before, but this time they would be excluded. And then finally, if this bill passes, any action taken before July 1st, I believe, yes, the plan is for this to go into effect July 1, 2021. So there you have it. A quick review of Senate Bill 275. What do you think? Really, what do you think? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it just a thing or is it nothing? I really want to read what you think. So please take a moment and respond below, especially if you are a Alabama resident, because we do have non-Alabama folks checking out the channel. I want to hear from all of you, but especially those of you in legal support positions that this could affect you. So that's the bill. So what did I do today? After I did a quick read of the bill, I reached out to my elected officials. Senator Gavon is not my representative for my district, but since he's the author of the bill, and since I represent Notaries for Alabama, I reached out to him with some questions and thanked him for his service. And then I did look up who my elected officials or representatives are. And I sent my questions, thoughts, concerns to both of them. And I'm looking forward to hearing back from both of them. And when I do, I will share that information with you here on the channel. I also contacted the National Notary Association, which I am a proud member of. And I am also a National Notary Association ambassador. Um, I do encourage notaries to join the NNA because they've been a great resource for me. And so I wanted the legislative guru at the NNA to know about this bill, to get his take on it, and that will better educate and inform me. So if you're not a member of the NNA, I encourage you to do so. I also encourage you to join Notaries for Alabama. Right now, membership is free. And that may not always be the case. So come on over, join us. You can join us on Facebook. We have a Facebook group called Notaries for Alabama Hangout. Just search for it, answer a couple quick questions, and we'll get you into the room to be part of the discussion. We talk about everything. Not only being a notary, there are some who want to start their own notary business and be a mobile notary and be a signing agent. We hit all of those topics, and we would love to have you. Right now, we have over 700 members, from wannabe notaries and existing notaries all across the state. So come on and join us. And once again, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And then let me know what other topics related to the field of notary that you'd like for me to talk about. All right, it's been long enough. I'm gonna sign off. I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Have a good evening. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.